Welcome back to Fantasy Football Today. It's now time for the trade chart presented by Dave Richard. You can check out the full trade chart on CBSSports.com. Dave gives you a point system and helps you making some trades. And we're going to talk about some buy low and sell high candidates here on Fantasy Football Today. And we'll start with a buy low candidate of Pat Freiermuth. So, Dave, we're not even sure if he's going to play in week number 7. He's trending in the right direction, but has missed last week's game with a concussion. We know it's his third concussion in the last 2 years. But prior to getting hurt, 12 more PPR points in 3 of his first 4 games. Good opportunity. Maybe you pick him up off waivers if he's available as well.
Absolutely. Well, if you can find him off waivers, you don't need to go and buy low on him. He'll be out there. He posted on Instagram that he expects to play on Sunday, effectively saying that. And Mike Tomlin said that he should play on Sunday. So I feel great about Pat Freiermuth's chances against the Dolphins. He's either first or second on the Steelers in target share, red zone targets, end zone targets, yards per catch, yards per route run, and tackles avoided. Think about who else is on that offense when you think about Freiermuth being first or second on the team. If it's Trubisky starting, he had a target share earlier this season of 23% with Mitchell Trubisky. I think that this is a guy who you can grab as a tight end and have as your starter the rest of the season. I'd give up somebody like Raheem Mostert for him easily, James Robinson easily, Drake London, Alec Pierce. And if I needed to win now, and I'm not sure when Michael Thomas is coming back, I'd give Michael Thomas up straight up for him.
I don't know if I give up Thomas or Robinson. Those are about the only ones I might push back on, but if you need help with the tight end position, it certainly makes some sense. The one question I would have, though, is can he do this with Kenny Pickett, Heath? Because we just haven't seen that yet. So can Pickett get him going to the same level that Trubisky was getting going?
Well,
that's funny to say.
Right. Well, that's the question is because it makes perfect sense. Trubisky is not throwing the ball downfield. George Pickens has almost no role in the offense when Mitch Trubisky's playing. So can he be this if George Pickens is getting a 20% target share, or if Chase Claypool is doing what he was last week? And what's better for the team, to be throwing the ball to Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, and George Pickens, or to Pat Freiermuth? I kind of view Freiermuth as an, oh no, nobody's open, we'll just dump it off to him. I do think he'll be, he's a fine buy low option, but I don't think he's a difference maker at tight end. I think he's going to live in that 8 to 10 range.
We have Tom Spencer, who's the CBS Sports editorial consultant, in the booth with Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. They did the Steelers game recently, and he said that they were telling the crew there at CBS that they feel like Freiermuth is a generational talent. So I don't know if they're going to go away from him by any stretch.
No.
But I think you want to see it first. But I think the guys that Dave is suggesting to go trade for make a lot of sense for what could still be a number 1 tight end for the rest of the season. Another buy low candidate you have is Aaron Jones. We're going to have actually A.J. Dillon on the show on Wednesday, so we'll see what Dillon has to say about his backfield mate. But in regards to Aaron Jones, he's been miserable. Now's the time to go get him?
Absolutely, because I think he's their best running back. He might even be their best offensive player. They've got to use him more, not just in the run game, but also in the passing game. He's been way more efficient than A.J. Dillon. He's actually top 15 among running backs in yards per carry, rush EPA, 5-yard rush rate, also in receptions, yards after catch per reception. He's been great. Packers have to run the ball more. I'm excited about the future for Aaron Jones. And so when I say buy low, hopefully you can give up less than Mike Williams. Hopefully you can get him straight up for Amari Cooper and a bench running back. You can upgrade from Rhamondre Stevenson, who might not necessarily be the Patriots running back the rest of the way. I think Aaron Jones can help you be a league winner.
Yeah, I don't know about the Rhamondre.
Do you think Rhamondre is going to be the main back for New England even when Harris comes back?
I like what I think Rhamondre can be rest of season than maybe what Aaron Jones can be, because I think you see what this offense looks like right now. Schedule matters. Rhamondre's role in the passing game, I think, is just as good as Aaron Jones at this point. So I don't know if I make that trade. You probably don't either.
I don't. I'm scared. I mean, I've got a lot of Aaron Jones. I'm hoping that everything, and all the other trades I would definitely make. If Damian Harris doesn't come back, or if Harris comes back and doesn't take his role back, then I think Rhamondre is better.
I agree.
And if Harris is back, I'm not sure their touches are that much different. Aaron Jones just had 12 touches last week. He had 8 touches in week 1. He's been around 15 the rest of the time, but I think Stevenson will probably be around 15.
I think that number goes up for Jones because I don't think Dillon's been particularly good. You're talking to him on Wednesday, so I don't want to say anything bad about A.J. Dillon, but I think Aaron Jones is the one who I think they've got to lean on.
He's definitely the focal point of the backfield, but as we saw last week, Dillon had more carries than him. So it's not necessarily a situation where Dillon is going away.
He had more catches than him.
And he had more catches than him. So you also saw Aaron Jones limp off the field at one point last week or during the game. So
right, but he came back.
This could be a little bit of just a fractured offense altogether. So let's just move on right now to Rhamondre Stevenson, one of your sell high candidates. So when you're looking at Rhamondre right now, I know you're banking on probably Damian Harris coming back, but has there been a change in the backfield now? Could it be Rhamondre Stevenson's job to lose, and Harris is going to be more of the supplementary guy?
Sure, and this isn't me saying get Rhamondre Stevenson off your team. I love Rhamondre Stevenson too, and he looked amazing against Cleveland, but it was Cleveland. And we know what the Patriots' MO tends to be year after year. They use multiple running backs. It might not even be Damian Harris that puts a dent in Stevenson's touches. It could be Ty Montgomery too, who they liked as a passing downs back before he got hurt. So I'm nervous about what the Patriots are going to do. They haven't exactly been the most trustworthy offense this season. Can I turn him into Joe Mixon? Can I turn him into Chris Godwin? Can I turn him into CeeDee Lamb? I don't think I can do it straight up. I don't think anybody will do that. But I can probably pair Stevenson with a player on my bench, maybe a number 3 receiver, to get one of those guys. That's what I'm thinking fantasy managers should do.
I'd do all those things. If you can go get him for a second-round talent, and I
Right.
would throw Godwin now that he's 100% back into the second-round talent range, then I would 100% do that.
Why are we selling Leonard Fournette at this point?
It's, again, people desperate for running backs, and you're trying to sell high on somebody who's had a touchdown catch, a running back who's had a touchdown catch in 3 straight games. He actually leads the Bucs in targets and catches. It's because he's been the healthiest. He's been the least suspended running back on the team. If you think he can keep it up, don't trade him for anything. Put him on your roster. Don't look back. But if you think he can't, look for a high ransom for him, a top 10 receiver. Maybe try and upgrade to one of the top 2 tight ends in fantasy. Maybe trade him for Ken Walker and a decent wide receiver. I like Walker a lot the rest of the season. I don't think this is the same thing I was saying about Rhamondre Stevenson. You don't just want to give Fournette away. But if you don't think he can keep this up, now's the time to trade him and get something even better.
He was a top 5 running back last year. I kind of feel like he's probably going to be a top 5 running back in full PPR the rest of the season. I would have a hard time giving up a top 5 running back no matter what I'm getting for him.
I mean, look, if you're getting Andrews or Kelsey, it makes a lot of sense to make that move if you have the running back depth. I'm not trading him for Ken Walker. I'm not.
Ken Walker. And
I know the package, but it's got to be a CeeDee Lamb type of receiver and Ken Walker, that type of move. Where you're getting like you said,
I would do that too.
Top 5 receiver for that, but. I just think the rushing touchdowns will start to come. The fact that he's been giving you this receiving touchdown with this receiving role, he's been their best player. I can't imagine that he's going to get any less work.
And he's averaging less than 4
right now,
yards
you have
per
to
carry.
say he should have been a first-round pick.
He absolutely should have been a first-round pick. All right, we're going to take a break. Oh, I'm sorry. DeAndre Hopkins quickly. So what are we trying to sell him now, just based on the name?
It's based on the name. It might be better than the game. The offense is absolutely awful. Kyler Murray hasn't been playing that great. And it just so happens, how convenient, there's somebody in your league who's been starting Marquise Brown, and they need a wide receiver. If you can sell high on DeAndre Hopkins, get something really good in exchange for him, I would do it. Maybe try and get
Aaron Jones. You could make
there
that
you
type
go.
of trade.
That would be perfect.
He's made that trade this morning, sending DeAndre Hopkins for Aaron
Didn't even know it.
Brilliant move by you.